How's it going today? Awesome, awesome. Good feedback so far. Things are moving, things are going well. Yes, we're seeing getting your comments. We do need your comments, please, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Please do give your feedback. Let's know what's going on. I hope we're doing good. And we just trying our best. Anyways, so we have an architect Iskil Kuye, talking to us about the business of architecture. Well, we're talking of the built environment. We're going on about the technicalities. What about the sustainability of it, of your business, living and outliving you? So that is the angle he is coming from. Okay, sit back and enjoy. So Kuye, Architect Kuye, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you too?
Not bad, not bad. Well done.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So can you tell us your full name and tell us a little bit about what you do? Tell us about what you do, not a little bit.
Okay. My name is Iskil Kuye. I'm an architect by profession. I do design and build for a living. I own my practice. I run my practice in Lagos here in Nigeria. Great architects and project managers. And aside from work, I'm a very family person. I love family because God first, after God, family, then work. Because when the work stops, family is there for you. When your family is gone, you only have God. God is just there for you all through. So that's my summary. So I'm running a practice. Haven't had experience from you know 10 years of working. A-class firms. And working with the A-class contractors. I acquired valuable experiences that have helped me to be where I am today, pursuing my own cause, achieving my own dreams, and making the world a better place. And basically, the key to everything I do is solving problem. Is either I'm solving problem, I'm thinking into the future. So those are the two keys that drive everything I do.
Wonderful. So if we go right into it, can you tell us about your perspective on the business of architecture?
Okay, my perspective on the business of architecture, it's just like every other person who has been through the formal education system. We all know that no, no curriculum for business of your profession. They basically teach you the rudiments, the knowledge, and even at that, it's only a few they teach you. Expected to, expose yourself, expand your breadth, and open yourself to more reading, research in order to be able to be grown. Because everything cannot be taught. Of course, this life is a learning field. You learn till the day you die. So the business side of architecture is a thing that I feel is people don't really understand. Most architects don't understand. We are so overwhelmed by maybe you get maybe a very good project, you get your first payment, or you have some millions, or you have some good cash, and you feel you are good. And most of the firms that I know forget to put some certain things in place. And another thing is most people don't understand what they represent when it comes to the business of architecture. They don't understand what they represent. And why do I say this? Understand what you represent means, am I representing myself? Am I negotiating myself on behalf of myself or on behalf of the company? Because if I'm negotiating a project for myself, it's different from when I'm negotiating with a company. So most people don't know where they fall. Most people don't know how to negotiate when they negotiate. Most people don't identify their threshold when it comes to negotiation. Business is all about negotiation, offer and acceptance, basically. But there are some three key ingredients that when you want to run the business of any profession, whether you're an architect, you're a doctor, you're an engineer, what, you need to have three quick ingredients. The knowledge of three. Number one is accounting. Number two is financing. And number three is economics. Why do I say this? Accounting is more or less backward looking. Accounting for what you're expending, accounting for your time, accounting for your manpower, accounting for the resources you are putting on a project. Because we need to understand that, you see, time is the most valuable asset, not money. Time is the most valuable asset. And that's what people know. When you meet high-end professors, they charge per hour, or some charge per, depending on the number of times, So most of us don't understand that time is the most valuable asset. And we sometimes, when we go for negotiations, we don't, put all these things in place. And when you are able to identify your track record, you're able to understand your resources, you're able to account for what you've actually done, then you'll be a very, very good, business person. Number two is financing. There are some things you need to do that you perhaps have to you have to raise funds, either through yourself, your family, loans, and so on. There are some things which you need to raise funds for. You need to understand, why am I raising funds for this thing? What's the viability? You don't just raise funds for a project and add on an district for a project. There are some things that need to come in place. You need to do your feasibility report. You need to justify the reason why you're actually financing a project or financing a proposal. Once you're able to understand that, you'll be very good at business. Number three is the economics. You need to understand the economic of your region. Like here in Nigeria, at times when these political parties change powers, things change, laws change, and that's why at the verge of changing power, businessmen are always on the lookout. They are very wise. They don't take, steps abruptly. They watch what's the decision of this government. What are the new things, coming? What are the new laws guiding what we do? It's very, very important. Even to our design, there are laws guiding our design. We cannot just see a site and say, oh, I want to use up all my site. The government can come today and say that, okay, there was a time I did a design, and from what I know in that area is the setback is 6 meters. And when I submit the drawing for approval, they told me they just reviewed it a month ago that the setback is 9 meters. Things change, laws change. You understand? So when you're able to understand this, you understand how to run your business. And most times you'll see that when design practice do starts, they have this challenge of running businesses. And we don't understand that money has a way it works, and that's why I said it's important for us to understand how money works. You get a project of say 50 million, you think, oh yeah, all and all, and you start spending on fuel, generator, you start living in life you're not supposed to live, you increase the level style of living. Before you know it, you go down. You'll be spending the money, company's money, you'll be traveling another day, want to feel like an architect, because architects do love to travel. So all these things we consume you at the long run. It might look small, but there are some projects, they come once in a lifetime. It doesn't come every time. To have a 30-story building, you will pay 50 million naira project. That might be your highest fee for life. You might end up start designing some fee. Yes, it happens. There are some projects when you get there, you don't need any other project in your life. You just be on that project. I'm telling you. But of course, we know that there are opportunities here and there. So the business side of architecture, it's a really technical part which people don't like to talk about it. You work in a firm, your boss doesn't tell you how does the job comes in. You are just at the office using your software to draw. Do you even understand where your salary is coming from? Some firms, some people have separate businesses, and it's the return from that a business they use to pay you, not from even the work you're doing. Because at times you're in the office, you don't know what is happening. The boss just comes, gives a new brief. You don't know how that brief has actually come into play, because your boss has gone to a war front to negotiate, to bargain. You'll be thinking of the salaries I'm going to pay. You'll be thinking of facilities, the office, the printer, the lights, everything, resources you need to put together, your manpower, if you don't understand this is what is taking the money, you'll feel maybe a 12 million naira is a good pay on a project. You understand? And most times we don't understand. Once you understand your SWOT, you'll be a very, very good business person. How do I
Once
mean?
you,
Let me analyze it for you.
sorry, can you backtrack? You say once you understand what? You said
Your
once you
SWOT,
understand
SWOT,
SWOT. Okay.
SWOT. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is your strength. The S is for strength, W is for weakness, O is for opportunity, and T is for threat. Once you're able to understand these four things, you'll also be a very good business person. How do I mean? Let me analyze it for you. Okay. For example, they went to meet architect Richard. We want to design a 12-story building. Architect Richard's strength is only in drawing floor plans. Architect Richard does not have the zeal or is not into the 3D, the animation, and this client is actually expecting that you do a two-dimensional drawing, you do a three-dimensional drawing, you do an animation, you do, the deliverables. And at the end of the day, they ask you, how much are you going to charge? You tell them, say, 1 million naira. Now, that 1 million naira you charge based on your own strength. You don't know that animation, Mr. A is going to do animation, and Mr. A is going to charge you, let's say, 500,000 naira for the animation. You are not good at 3Ds. Mr. B will do 3D for you at 200. You didn't factor in their fees. So at the end of the day, you collect the project and you're expected to put down all the deliverables, and then it becomes, what's happening? That money you felt you have negotiated will not become nothing to you. You'll not be feeling worked up on a project. You don't know how to charge for a project. You don't know what is taking your money on a project. You don't know your duties and responsibilities on a project. You won't know how to negotiate. Because when you're going for negotiation in business generally, when you're going for a negotiation, you need to understand what is my threshold. This negotiation, I can't go less than 12 million naira. You have your business. You're not just calling figures. You've looked at your overhead, you've looked at your salaries you're paying, you've looked at the period in which maybe that drawing the office will be working on that drawing for the next 6 months. You need to factor in, you need to be able to size the project that if you're working on this project, at least for the next 24 months, we are on this project. You need to factor the salary for that 24 months. You need to know why you're charging. There's this company, I don't know, a very popular company in Nigeria, a construction company, among the A-class. They didn't pay me for the advert, so I won't mention their name. So they went to a client invited them to look at a property. I think it's an embassy. They wanted to renovate. And guess what? They charged them 4 billion naira. The client said, oh no, I can't, we don't have 4 billion, we have 2 billion. They said, sorry, we can't do it. And they did not collect that project. After that, if they say 2 billion naira, come and do that renovation.
We'll quickly do it.
We quickly do it. But that
you have to know the value.
Thank you.
Value your strength, yes.
Thank you. You have to know. You have to know why I'm charging. For instance, that 4 billion, they know that we do high-end construction. There are some cranes, machines we need to rent that will be on the site for the next 12 months. You have to factor in that. You understand? There are some things that you have to put in place for the duration of that project. And if you have not factored every naira and cover your profits, your overhead, your salaries, your expenses, damages, all your insurance and all that, you feel that money is big. 2 billion is a big money. So you need to understand what your threshold is. Let me tell you how I know about this thing. During my undergraduate, when a client calls me, how much will you charge for a project? You know what I do? I look at for let me just give it an example. I'll say, okay, a duplex. I know that duplex will take me like 4 weeks. So I'll say that, then, it wasn't really about, the salary, just put a figure for yourself. I said, okay, from this project, I should be able to see 100,000 naira profit. I noted down. I look at, I say, okay, for this project, while I'm doing it, I'll need to go to internet, check something. So I need internet for a month. Internet for a month is 17,000 naira. I'll put it down. That was 117,000. I look at it again that, okay, I'll need to buy fuel. If there's no light, I'll need to run fuel to deliver this job as I expected. Maybe per week, I use a fuel of 2,000. Maybe more, I use 8,000. I'll put it. That's already 125,000. I'll look at again, okay, I'll print. What's the cost of my printing? If I'll print this job, maybe another 50,000 naira for printing, delivering, and all that. Then I will now mark it up. So if I add all this all up, I'm having about 124 plus 50, and I'm having about 174. I can do a markup of 50,000 naira. That takes me to 224. Then I'll go to that negotiator with 350. And I know that my threshold is 224, so I won't even go less than 250. Now, that if I'm going for that negotiation and the client said, you know what, I can only pay 200, and I turn it down. If you are listening to me, think, it's 200,000. Why is this guy turning it down? You don't know what I've factored in. You need to understand the business. You're using some resources on this thing. You're using some resources to achieve that job. Except you want to be greedy, you just say, 200, okay, fine. You understand? And once that money is paid, you need to understand, is this money paid to you or to the company? And that's how you grow your company.
Sorry, we didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, at a point, you now need to understand that this money you are being paid after you have negotiated, is it for you or for the company? Or you're trying to build your business, to grow your business? So if you're trying to grow your business, then you need to know that you need to have a percentage for yourself in your salary. Maybe you say, okay, for now, my salary is 10%. So it means any job that comes, your salary is 10%. If that client have agreed to pay me 250,000 naira, 10% of 250,000 naira is 25,000. Then when they transfer the money, I can transfer 25,000 to myself. That's my own money. The rest, I put it for my company. And that was how personally I was able to grow my company up to where it is today. Because I knew where I was going. I understand the business. Like I said, nobody tell you. I just observed my environment and I was able to dot the I's and cross the T's, because I wonder, where do these people get jobs? They keep paying salary. Is that because I know that jobs doesn't come every month? Job doesn't come every month. So where do they get that money to pay you? You understand? So at times you don't see your boss in the office, you think your boss is sleeping at home. It's going to seal deals. It's going for meetings. It's going for PR. There are sometimes, you just go and visit someone. You just stay with them for a while. It's called PR, public relations. You communicate. It's not really about money. When they see you, they want to, it reminds them, okay, once I have my next project, you're going to work on. It's just PR. So you might go and visit 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're just with them, establishing it. People prefer to go to clubs. They believe that's where they make their connection. Well, it's what works for you. Club doesn't work for me because I'm not a club person. So I wouldn't want to go and register in a club because I'm looking for clients. My next project, my project will always bring in my clients and referral. So that is an aspect of business. Understand how money works. Understand what. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, understand how money works. Understand what are your resources. Understand what your expenses are. And understand the structure you are putting in place for.
Your screen has frozen.
It's frozen. It's frozen. Okay, let me do this. Am I back on now?
Yes, sir. You are.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just stop there briefly so that for possible questions.
Yeah, it's really a good one, because there's a book that I also find very very vital with regards to it's called Profit First by Michael Michalowicz, and what he says is, pay yourself first. Whatever you get, no matter how small it is, pay yourself. You start with 10%, take your tax, take something like that. So it's like a piggy bank. Always, before you start, your expenses will always be there, no matter what. but took
Yeah.
that little one out, then you assume you don't have it. You'll be able to squeeze yourself within what is left, So
Hmm.
it's a good one.
Okay.
Mm. So yeah, so at least so from what you said now, so people should look at finance at
Yes.
what do you call it?
Accounting,
In finance and economics.
economics. Yes.
Yes. So it's a good one. So everybody should take note of that and see how, because yes, we do not, we all we think about is drawings
Drawing.
and more drawings, but we don't think of how to multiply the money, how to keep it, make it sustainable. So you have given us some tips.
Yeah.
So what they should do now is to delegate. We should be willing to delegate out those aspects of the drawing.
Delegates.
They go and source for clients and source for business. Yeah,
I can hear you here, but can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my video is freezing here. Is it freezing over there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I'll put it back on. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So I said, so what you're saying is that business, they have to consciously strategize to keep the business rolling in, source for clients,
Yes.
source for while they find people to be doing the drawings and things in the office.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And if you notice, there are some, like I think Daniel Libiskin, one of these great architects. He doesn't even know how to use the computer.
Mm.
One of the great architects. You don't have to.
Yes.
You can't be master of all. There are some things you don't. You get to a point in your career, not that that person who has employed you cannot sit down. Whether he can sit down to do it or not, he has passed that stage.
Mm. Mm.
He has passed that stage. Okay, I go for a meeting, I collect a brief, I already send it to the office, they're already working on it. I come back home, following day I'm heading for another meeting. What time will you sit down? Because negotiation is an art. You design it, you prepare for it. You don't just enter into a negotiation blind. Then you must know like I said, you must know your worth, what you can offer. You must know what you can do. You must know what you cannot do. So part of a good business strategy is to create that niche for yourself. If they say, oh, once I know a company, they are just into hotels. When you go to like religious building, they tell you we don't do it. They'll either refer you to someone who does religious buildings, but they will not be the one to do it because they set a niche for themselves. There are some, they are just interior. So, and there are some, they are all over, whatever, interior, exterior, bring it, they will do it. So you need to know the niche you have for yourself. Then when you are putting your team together, do not put your strength on your team. Put your weakness on your team. It makes good business sense.
Okay.
Imagine your strength is in 3D. My strength is in 3D. And you actually need someone to be doing detailed drawing. So when you employ me, why will you employ me? When because I can do 3D. That's where you see employer and start fighting all the time. Because you didn't define your team properly. You are into business, you know what you're offering, you know what you can do, you know what you can do. So when you are employing, employ your weakness. What you're weak in, I'm not good at accounting. Employ someone who is good at accounting. Oh, we are not good at detailing. Employ someone who's good at detailing. When you employ someone who is good at detailing, and you can, by the time you need to relieve yourself of some duty, then you now employ your strength. That's the point. But don't just employ because this guy is very good. It might be, that's why when you go for interview, the best question is, what is your strength in design? I love when I go for interviews, I love that question very well. What is your strength? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. And you can leave it like this. This keeps freezing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and I can remember when I went for an interview in an A-class firm, a design firm. They asked me, what's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal? I told them my short-term goal is for me to acquire my practice license, and my long-term goal is to grow with the company. This company still, there are some intelligent interviews I love. When I go for my interview, let me tell you one interesting thing about me. When I go for interview, if you don't if you don't want to employ me, you want to have something to do with me. When I go for interview, after you've interviewed me, I'll raise up my hand and say, I have some few questions. What value does this company want to add to me? If you can answer that, at the end of the day, I'll push forward my business card to you. How many employers who is looking for a job can do that to me? I got a job in 2015, and I was the only architect the man employed for 6 months. He didn't want to employ another person. We were three that went for that interview,
Wow.
and the first two persons spent like 20 minutes or so. I spent over an hour. They were wondering what I was doing. I was discussing from a different perspective. The man said, you know what, I think we would like to work with you. You have some business, sense.
Yes.
And
That's
after
good.
the interview, I said, this is my business card. He looked at it and like my business card was sort of oppressing because it was a transparent business card. I printed from China. It looks dashing. And the way the man looked at it, it was now, shuffling his file, looking for his own business card to give me. And I was like, wow.
Nice.
How many people today will you go, not like a job interview, and they will give you, and you drop your business card, you know?
So
So
that
we
is
need
presentation
to
and packaging.
thank you. You need to package yourself properly and not package a false packaging. You should talk what you represent. Whatever you say, make sure you do. Don't just say it. When you tell people about this, some of my colleagues do consult me as I am today, and I still consult them. I still called someone this morning. A client called me, wanted me to design a 6-story building in Lagos Island, and I was skeptical. How do I charge? Should I charge him based on the standard percentage fee, or I should just prorate it, just like I said, and give him a figure? I had to call my colleague. Why did I call him? At times it happens like that. You can't know everything. We need to consult one another, give you idea. Perhaps they have experience. And the guy told me, you know what? It's your first shot with this person. Why not tell him what? Because it's what you tell him is going to negotiate on. If he wants to work with you, the best is to negotiate with you, no matter what. If he doesn't work with you, if he just walks out of the conversation, then maybe it's just sort of a greedy person, because I see clients like that as being greedy. If you charge someone and you can't afford something, then get back to the person. I'm sorry, I couldn't. You understand? Don't just leave the conversation blank. He has forwarded an invoice. You need to give a feedback. In business, feedback is important. In business, feedback is very, very essential, because that is where the real communication is. You need to understand. And another thing is, let me tell you another sweet experience. There was a job I went for in 2018 when I first resigned from my last paid employment, when I decided to start my own practice. I saw it. They needed a project manager, and when I went there, they had this big master plan about 10,000 hectares they are working on, and they want me to be a project manager. They'll be paying me 200 naira monthly. I looked at them. I said, okay, you know what you want to do? Do you know I can do this? I can do this with our contracts more, because what you're presenting, blah blah blah. Do you know I changed that deal to a contract of ₦1 million, over ₦1 million, right there during the meeting.
Wow.
I told this man that I can do the animation, but this size of land, I'm going to need a very powerful system, and Alienware. Right at that meeting, the client ordered the Alienware, part of my fees. And because of the business relationship I have, I said, you know what? Since you've gotten this Alienware, let's establish a relationship. I was using an HP, so I traded it. I said, I give you my HP. Since you're getting this one, what am I doing with 2 systems? And we had a good business relationship. We did the business, and it was so mind-blowing, because I don't want a situation where I'll go and I'll sit down. My nature is not, you know me, my nature, I can't sit down in a place. They expect me to, I believe they are taking so many things behind it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear
Are
me?
you trying to come back? Whether it will be clear now.
Are you there?
No, I said, are you putting your screen on? Maybe it will be clear. It will be okay. So I will also ask you, can you hear me? Hello?
Question you might want to ask, so just run it.
So yeah, so where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Well, I'm someone who believes in Allah, so I know that is left to my creator. But in 5 years' time, just being a better me, a bigger version of myself, doing the things I know how to do best. Like people will say, was when the clients ask me that, which is the best project, I'm always saying the next one, So I'm not relaxed. Well, no matter how beautiful the project is, I'll tell you it's the next one. So I see a bigger version of myself doing things I love to do. I also love photography. I would like to have the full scale photography, business. Yeah. So
Wonderful. So what book made an impact in your life to you?
in my life is the Quran.
Okay.
I don't read all those motivational books. Read this book to become a billionaire. All these billionaires, they read 5 books in a day. I don't care. I don't care. It's because you've made it. That's why you're telling me you're reading 10 books a day. If I've made it, I'll tell you sleep and enjoy your sleep and wake up by 10 a.m. Which I'll start giving my own version. Yes, so because for everything I do, I connect back to my creator. I'm not working in isolation. And holding that Quran, reading it, reminds me of my purpose in life. And that's why I started by saying, whatever I do, I'm either solving a problem or I'm looking into the future. Those are the things that drive me. So whatever book has motivated me is just what my creator has instructed. Do good to people. Whatever you're doing, do it well. Be the best you can be. Respect people. Treat people. Do not do what you do not like. Do not do unto others what you don't like to be done to you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So there's a lot of lesson in that book that can make you a billionaire. Because even like even God said, call me, I will answer you. So whatever I need, I ask him and he gives me. So, but saying is because I read this book. No, I've not read this book, but I have some interesting quotes that actually drive me, some phrases that actually drive me. And one of them is when you love what you do, work becomes play. Then in the end, you get paid for playing. That's number one. Then number two is that failure is an essential recipe for success. When you fail, you learn how not to do it. When you learn, you grow knowing how to do it better.
Lovely.
Yes, those are the two quotes I know. Yeah.
So, as a closing remark, what will be your advice for the youth, for the downtrodden, for those that are just not sure with no focus? What would be your advice?
Yeah, my advice is number one, identify your strength. What can you do? Look for your weakness. Relate with those that will complement you. Talk to those that complement you. Identify who lifts you up spiritually when you talk to. Identify who you can talk to. Know the right person, because in this life, apart from God, is who you know. Learn people, learn to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, relate with people that know how to communicate. If it's possible, do some collaborations, come together, and it is in this part of the world, everybody just wants to have his fame. We don't understand the value in collaborating. And like someone once told me, like in abroad, overseas, maybe UK, US or so, there are some projects when they want to do, for instance, they will tell you that on this stadium, we need 1,000 years experience. On this stadium project, we need 1,000 years experience. You know what happens? When they call Fem A, maybe they are their Oga has 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have 50 staff, and all of the 50 staff, by the time they calculate their experience, maybe it's just 250. They go to another firm, they collaborate.
Hmm.
Because the requirement for you to design this stadium, you need to have had a certain number of experience. That's why even for the common job, they say, what experience have you had? What experience have you had? So experience counts. So we should learn the spirit of collaboration. That is what can lift us. Like they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go
Go
together.
together. Beautiful. So thank you so much for
Yeah, you're
coming.
welcome. Yeah, you're
It was a
welcome.
nice one. I think I'll also chip into what you just said now. When you go
Okay.
to UK and you go outside, you realize that there's a network of like the Asians, the Indians, they come together and they are almost buying up the whole of UK because it's not one
Wow.
person. They come together to own a property. That way, they are able
Hmm.
uh, to spread and own so many properties as opposed to we over here in Africa that you want to do alone. You don't want to help
So
anyone.
help people.
So you want to be the lord of the manor and everybody is sucking up to you. So why can't we try to come together so that we can be more fortified and build a stronger network and community? So that is my closing remark. So I'll say once again, please, guys, go and check out the check out the website, register, spread the website, the seminar. Also, please check out the Facebook group, put your comments there, and the LinkedIn. Yeah. So lovely, lovely. Architect Kuye, it was lovely having you. So talk to you soon. Are you coming in to say goodbye? Oh, dear, it's finished.